like Gaia's own personal blacksmith.
여기구만.
Yeah, a very angry.
Fascinating.
안녕.
I'd like my uncle Lawrence.
Aloy!
Right to work, I see.
There's just so much. I mean, we knew of artificial beings that served the ancestors, but Gaia? Oh, she's amazing! And you, a true reincarnation of an ancestor. Genetically speaking, of course, not like the, late CO. And there's more ancestors out there, returned from beyond the stars. Of course, they're trying to kill us, which is not great. And Eric Visser is with them, which is disturbing. And then there's Hephaestus, and...
Okay. How about we take it one step at a time?
You're right. I also owe you an explanation for everything that happened at Landfall. Oh, and if you have a moment, there's something I could use your help with.
그래요. 동료들.
I imagine you don't know anyone here that well yet, but they're a good group.
It's funny because one of your friends is, well, another you. Not that you are the same person at all. I mean, you are, as in, you're both genetically Elizabeth Sobeck, but even so, you're different.
We grew up very differently. But sometimes different is good.
Yes, of course.
동료.
I hope everyone's been treating you okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. They've all been extremely welcoming. And they share the knowledge they learn on their focuses with each other freely. It's refreshing. Back home, diviners can only share data with the permission from the overseers.
Sounds restrictive and stifling.
Yeah, you are not wrong.
Have you spoken with Zoe at all?
A little bit, but I did hear her singing with Varl not too long ago. I don't think they noticed. Zoe seemed so free when she did it. Like every emotion she had was taking flight in song. And she looked happier because of it. I felt so dull and nervous in comparison.
You should ask Zoe to teach you sometime. About Utaru music.
Maybe.
If you need anything before heading out to the cauldrons.
You have nothing to worry about. Gaia's explained your plan in detail, as expected from such an efficient AI. I've even received some very, succinct combat advice from Kotalo. You know, in case the Zeniths show up.
What kind of advice?
He, told me to run.
For now. We'll even the odds soon enough.
이 동료들을 처음 만나다 보니까 대사가 많네요.
Anything new around here?
Kotalo showed me the schematics for his new arm. I recall reading about robotic limbs within the Legacy, but I never thought I'd see one in action. Technology like that would be treasured back home. Think of what it could do for injured workers or soldiers. But knowing the Imperial family, they would use it for different purposes. Their own.
Replacing body parts as they grow older. Like the Zeniths.
Exactly.
I see you've been using your new focus.
It's been fascinating. So much better than the version the Quen have. What would have taken me years to sort through, like the database you helped me recover, with this, I've been able to establish search parameters to speed up the process. This could revolutionize how diviners analyze the Legacy. That is, whatever part of it the overseers would actually let us study.
You wanted data, you'll find lots of it here.
A diviner has never had this sort of unsupervised access to archives such as this. And knowing you, I suspect there is much that would normally be forbidden held within them. But I was sent here to help you. I would be remiss to ignore any truth laid before me. Maybe it'll help the Quen find their way back to the path of truth.
Any more data catch your eye?
All of it? I have so much to study up on. Years, actually. I'm particularly interested in the Odyssey. We knew the ancestors had made it to the moon. In fact, we theorized some of them had settled on it. But Sirius is way farther than that. And we thought journeying across the ocean would be the feat of a lifetime. The sheer calculations needed for space travel, it's overwhelming to think about.
Even so, the Quen are way ahead of other tribes when it comes to understanding this stuff. Where I grew up, everyone thought that stars were sparks that rose from a fire lit by the goddess to guide us through the night.
뭐 당연한 거죠? 지식이 없으니까. 제니스.
You mentioned Eric Visser? How do you know about him?
The Zenith who tried to kill you? He is known to the Quen as the Protector. Combing through data related to his work led us to breakthroughs related to weapons and military tactics. Knowledge our rulers used to conquer and expand, to become the empire we are today. That's why he's one of our most revered ancestors. But based on your encounter with him, it appears he's even more ruthless than we ever imagined. Yet another distorted interpretation in the legacy.
Well, at least you're piecing together the truth.
If only the overseers back home would do the same.
Beta mentioned other Zeniths. Tilda, Verbena, and Gerard.
I'm afraid I don't know anything about them. Whatever legacy they left behind, the diviners haven't recovered.
아쉽네요.
Must be strange to think that some of the ancestors your tribe reveres are still alive. And here on Earth, right now.
Yeah, it is. Part of me's curious to know who else besides Eric Visser might be among them. Maybe Nikita Arand? We call her the Spark. The legacy tells us she brought unlimited energy to the old ones. Or Sung Jiao, whom we call the Healer. It is said she found new ways to extend the ancestors' lifespans. But my curiosity fades when I think of how different our view of Visser was compared to the reality that you experienced. Perhaps it is better not to know.
퀸 부족. 금지된 지식.
Back at the greenhouse, you spoke of knowledge forbidden to your people.
Diviners are meant to seek out the truth in the legacy. And many Imperials sponsor them in the hopes they'll find something the Empire can put to use, thus gaining favor with the Emperor. But the Board of Overseers claims certain truths are detrimental to the stability of the Empire. Like discovering one of our revered ancestors ended the world. That is why diviners are only allowed to access segments of the legacy. Only overseers can view it all. It ensures that any heretical data can be contained and retrieved before it can spread.
What happens to diviners who break the rules?
I never had the courage to ask.
CEO.
You said you owed me an explanation for what happened in Thebes. I'm listening.
Right. I'll start at the beginning with the CEO. He was an Imperial, the Emperor's nephew, in fact. As such, he sponsored many diviners to search the legacy for anything that might help the tribe, and himself. He took a special interest in anything related to Ted Faro, whom we considered the greatest of the ancestors.
Ted Faro, revered ancestor. That's tough to take.
I know better now, of course. Anyway, the diviners discovered that Faro spent a great deal of time in San Francisco. In fact, many of the most important ancestors did. So the Emperor's nephew convinced him that an expedition across the ocean might solve our most pressing problems. If only we could find the right data in this fabled city. Perhaps we could roll back the floods and storms that threatened our people. The Emperor declared that all the tribe's resources be poured into this endeavor. Dozens of ships were built. Scouting missions were dispatched, and the Emperor's nephew was named Sio, one who wields the legacy for the good of the Empire, the living embodiment of Ted Faro, a renewer. It may seem strange now, but for a time, he carried all of our hopes. We really believed he would save us. We had no idea just how perilous the journey would be.
원정대.
You said the expedition across the sea was more dangerous than you thought it would be. What happened?
We lost most of our ships to hurricanes, and scores of soldiers perished to hunger and disease. And that was before we even hit the coast. Once we landed, machines ripped our patrols apart, and we struggled to replenish our rations. There were bright spots, to be sure. We found Thebes and the greenhouse. But nothing improved the CEO's mood as his dreams of saving the tribe were slowly dashed. He became more and more obsessed with Thebes and what lay behind its door. And more convinced that the title of CEO was no mere honorific. You heard him, spouting nonsense about Pharaoh's essence and some kind of becoming. We knew these weren't the words of a sane man, but he was quick to put any who spoke out in front of a firing squad.
What a great guy.
The Quen are wrong about many things when it comes to the legacy. I can see that now. But what the CEO became was a complete perversion of what principled diviners stand for. The pursuit of truth. I'm sorry you had to endure his madness. I'm just glad it's over. For everyone.
보하이. 그 사람은 어떻게 되는 거죠?
So, Bohai, your overseer. Will he run things better than CEO?
He won't execute people on a whim, if that's what you mean. But he's hardly a paragon of integrity. I can't tell you how many times he took credit for data in the legacy that I uncovered. The best thing I can say about him is that he can be trusted to always do what's best for him.
Yep, sounds about right.
선조.
The ancestors, is that what your people call the old ones?
Yes and no. The ancestors are the greatest of the old ones. Those whose legacy taught us agriculture, medicine, warfare, leadership, and patronage of the science and arts.
The CEO called Elizabeth Sobek an assistant. What's that about?
Right. Well, any old one who has made minor contributions or worked extensively under one of the ancestors is called an assistant. That's how we thought of Sobek, until we met you. Our limited access to data past the late 2040s has obviously misinformed our view of the past.
내 가족에 대해서.
You mentioned the reason you came here was to help your family. Your sister...
Her name is Alika. Our parents are commoners, peasants, really. When I passed the divination exams, they were so proud. It brought honor to our family and increased rations. Only Alika begged me not to leave for the research academy.
Why? What happens there?
Alika knew that once you enter, you're not allowed to leave or see anyone, not even your family. Unless you can get special permission and an escort by an overseer.
That sounds harsh.
Like the focuses we keep, diviners are few in number, and the Empire is, well, fearful that outsiders will try to steal our knowledge. Last time I was allowed to see my family was just before our voyage here. Because of my position, I was able to get them refuge from the floods within the capital. But if our crops don't recover soon, they'll starve to death along with everyone else.
I promise I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't come to that.
근데 이미 홍수가 와서 쓸어 버렸는데 당장 어떻게 합니까? 도움이라도 필요한 거야? 이제 퀘스트 한번 볼까요?
You mentioned there was something you needed help with?
Yes. So, as I was sifting through data from the greenhouse, I found references to an old world system back in the Great Delta. It's called Leviathan. My people discovered it decades ago. A sprawling network of river gates and a labyrinth of underground tunnels. The legacy revealed that the old ones used it to control flooding. But We've never gotten it to work. The whole thing is shut down. But the data from the greenhouse mentions the research facility where Leviathan was created. It's in San Francisco.
Another Pharaoh facility?
No, Leviathan was a project by Eileen Sasaki, another ancestor. So the legacy tells us, anyway, if we can acquire that data, we might be able to fix the system back in the Great Delta. Every year, my sister gets terrified when the long rains begin. With Leviathan, maybe she won't have to be.
Okay. So, where in San Francisco is this facility?
That's the thing. The data doesn't say where, exactly. But one of our diviners has been exploring the ruins. He might know. Would you come with me? I have a feeling that wherever this facility is, well, you're much better at fighting machines than I am.
Of course. I'll let you know when I'm in landfall.
Thank you, Aloy.
바로 가볼까요?
I should go.
Of course. Before you do, is everything all right? It sounded like there was an issue with Beta and the mission.
Not anymore. We just needed to talk some things through.
To understand one another is to embrace truth.
And, like I said, I'll let you know when I'm in landfall. We'll find the data you're after.
I appreciate it.
금지된 레거시 가볼까요? 오, 좀 그게 있는데 여긴가요? 레거시 상륙지로 레벨이 좀 있어요. 레벨 30이야. 여기도 퀘스트가 2개 정도 있네요. 여기도 뭐 이따가 하죠. 일단 이거부터.
Alva said one of the diviners here might know where the Leviathan research facility is. Better let her know I'm here. Hey, Alva. I'm in landfall. Can you meet me here?
I'll be there as soon as I can.
그냥 애초에 같이 오면 될 텐데 오기가
에일로이.
힘들 텐데 얘는.
I'm here. Had to sneak past a few machines on the way, but I made it.
All right. Ready to talk to that diviner?
Yes. He's right over there.
Diviner Alva, what are you doing back in landfall? And with the living ancestor?
We're looking for the At-Bay Research Center, where Leviathan was developed. The legacy tells us it's somewhere in the city.
Alva mentioned you've been collecting data in the area. Do you know where it is?
Yes, I stumbled across it, but there was no data there, only crumbling ruins.
Tell us anyway. We might be able to find something you missed.
Please, don't trouble yourself. I assure you, our search was very thorough.
You're hiding something.
What? That is absurd. A diviner must only speak truth, as you're well aware.
Oh, you're worried you found something dangerous. Something compromising on Eileen Sasaki?
Keep your voice down.
Look, I get it, Nirik. You want to make it back to your family, so it's safer to turn a blind eye. But think of Leviathan. How it could help everyone. Isn't that why we're here? Don't let fear deny us that.
Very well. The facility's just south of here, along the shore. But even if you find a way to fix Leviathan, it's sure to be shrouded in that which is forbidden.
Too often the truth is forbidden. Come on, let's go.
가자. 아니요, 안 돼요. 지금 안 돼요. 조금 이따가요. 시간은 조금 이따가 내주겠어요. 뭐 달리기가 이렇게 빨랐나니까? 가다 말어? 왜 저래?
Not bad with that diviner back there. You've come a long way since we first met.
And Nirik's like I used to be, terrified of a misstep. And with the overseers, he has every right to be. But what I've seen and learned since the greenhouse, it's so much more than what we're permitted. Diviners are supposed to seek the truth, and yet so much is kept from us. I'm tired of it. That should be the facility ahead. Oh, we need to find a way in.
항상 가까이에 있어요. 일단 아이템부터 먹어주고. 너도 수색을 좀 해봐. 맨날 나한테 맡기지 말고. 여기야? 아, 이 안쪽으로 들어가는 법? 그냥 점프 뛰어서 들어가면 되지 않아요? 아, 이 정도는 손으로 잡겠구만. 그냥 잡네? 뭐야?
Aloy, why is the ground shaking?
그러게?
That's not good, whatever it is.
Oh wait, whoa, that thing is huge.
We'll have to take it out if we want to find that data.
리더 팽?
Okay. I'm with you.
뭐하는 애들아? 슬리더 팽? 아, 저거구나. 아, 걸렸다. 잠깐만요. 왠지 느낌이 이건데? 야, 가만히 서있어. 안돼. 저거 뭐야? 아, 이게 아니구나. 이게 여기 앞에 있네요. 앞에 달려있네. 왜 저것만 노렸을까? 앞에 맞지 않았어? 안 맞았나? 꽤 많은데? 많이 달려있는데? 좋아. 이런 거는 오지마, 오지마라. 좋아요. 아, 저 꼬리가 너무 멀어. 뭐 어떻게 된 거야, 나? 느낌에 저 이빨에 뭔가 있는 것 같은데? 슬리더팽. 오! 숨었다, 숨었다. 안돼. 정화수, 정화수. 여기 불도 있는디? 아, 네. 근데 쟤는 진짜로 아예 안 싸운다. 이거 너무한 거 아니에요? 그래 좀 싸워줘야 되는 거 아니야 같이? 싸우면 척이라도? 이것도 맞았어.
Much better.
어딜 쏘는 거야? 정화수가 있는디? 오! 안돼. 오호호호. 그렇게 뚫고 나오면 안 되죠? 안 되지. 뭐라고 외치는데? 와. 땡기려는 순간 땡겼는데? 맞추지 않았어요? 정화수 아닌가?
No more fire.
좋아서. 오호호호. 자, 어쨌든 해주죠.
Whew. Well, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
We should be able to look around for that data now.
근데 어디로 들어가야 되지? 일단 상자부터 좀 먹읍시다. 아, 저 위로 날라다니면서 좀 위에서 점프 뛰어서 때리고 이랬으면은
Not getting in this way.
좋지만.
Might have collapsed when that Slitherfang came in.
어디가 무너졌다는 거야? 말은 쉽죠. 안 돼, 근데. 야, 못 올라가네? 여기 뭔가가 있군요.
Through here.
좋아.
After you. At least the water's not freezing. Look at this place. I always try to imagine what it must have been like back when the old ones were here.
It's less of a climb, I bet. Come on, let's check the upper floors.
음. 잡아.
You
알고 어디
okay?
갔어?
On every expedition, the soldiers would lay down walkways and barriers first to protect us diviners. But this is actually kind of fun.
생각보다
There.
잘하는데?
A console.
Must have been what Nirik found.
Let's see if it has anything on Leviathan. Oh, the data on Leviathan isn't here. But there's some kind of log.
Delete the database? But Miss Sasaki, when you look at the reports, 3,000 exhibiting symptoms. Over 400 dead. The data's clear. Omarama is contaminating the water supply, promoting bacterial growth. And with Leviathan based on the same architecture,
You're a smart kid. Top of your class, right? My father built this company thanks to world-class talent like you. And you know what else is world-class? Our legal team. So unless you want to spend the rest of your career in some dead-end, underfunded public research institute, you'll delete that database and forward all data on Leviathan to my office.
yes, ma'am.
That was her. The ancestor, Eileen Sasaki. Hundreds dead. And she knew their system was to blame, but she had the truth erased. Were all the ancestors like this? Selfish, ruthless, immoral? And yet we hold them up as paragons of enlightenment and virtue. Given what we've learned, I don't even know if Leviathan will work.
Hold on. Let's not give up just yet. You said before that the old ones use Leviathan to control flooding. Which means it probably worked. We'll know more when we find the data on it. The recording mentioned a copy was sent to Eileen's office.
To their corporate headquarters. There.
높은데? 괜히 있는 게 아니네요.
Let's go.
저 높은 게?
It shouldn't take us long to get to the tower.
Lead on. So what was that other system the recording mentioned? Omu Ramba?
The legacy tells us it was the predecessor to Leviathan, a system that manipulated floods to bring life to a barren desert.
Gwen seemed to know a lot about this ancestor.
Diviners spent years trying to figure out how to restore Leviathan. We found a lot of data on Eileen Sasaki in the process. Though, now I wonder how much of it is actually true.
그러게 얘네는 진짜 아는 게 많긴 하네.
Gonna have to find another way in.
The soldiers built a path on the nearby ruin. Might be able to cross over from there.
Lead the way.
에일로이는 대부분 제로던에 대해서밖에 모르는데 얘네는 뭐 다양하게 안다. 아이고 왜 글로 올라가? 여기 있는디?
I think this is as far as our soldiers got.
We'll have to climb higher to get into the tower.
I'll follow your lead.
이런 게 왜 박혀 있고 이거 당길 수 있다는 게 신기해요. 엄청난 완력입니다.
Up we go.
왜 일로 와? 지금 갈 수 있는 데가 없는데. 이렇게 와서 위로 가서 왼쪽으로.
You doing okay, Alva?
Yes. Don't worry about me.
크게 걱정하지 않습니다. 저. 궁금하지가 않아요.
Glintalk. Great.
Did it see us?
I don't think so, but we'll have to be careful.
글린토크가 어디 있다는 거죠?
How are we going to get across?
Oh, that
당기면
beam
돼.
looks promising.
오히려 문제는 여기를 어떻게 가느냐지. 쏘는 데가 있군요.
This is a lot higher up than I thought.
벌써 이만큼 올라온 거야?
Glintalks. Well, we have the element of surprise.
Or we could sneak by and, not fall off the tower.
아니 그럴 순 없지. 무음 공격이지.
We have no
무음 공격이지. 좋아요.
There. No more Glintalks.
I've heard our soldiers say the Glinthawks are the worst.
하지만 단순하게 잡아버렸어.
Up this way.
Aloy, we're really high off the ground.
You can do it, Alva, okay? Just don't look down.
Right. Of course. Super easy.
아니 아까도 잘 해놓고 여기서는 조금 어려워하네요. 이상하네요. 별다를 거 없는데 조금 전이랑.
There's the tower. Should be able to cross over. But we are going to have to jump.
After you.
저거 안 땡겨지는데?
Aloy,
됐어.
I'm okay.
가자. 오호호호.
Made it.
놀랬다.
Okay, Alva, your turn.
right. Yeah.
AT
Aloy,
베이?
can you watch me and make sure I do this right?
Come on, Alva, you can do it. It's okay.
Please don't break.
와!
Alva!
I'm okay. Wow. That would have been a long way to fall.
아하, 내가 쐈는데.
You sure? Oh, door's locked. You sure you're okay?
Yeah. No, I'm fine. Let's keep going.
콘솔이 있는데 작동을 안 하나요? 암호 입력 여기 두 개 중에 하나가 있겠다. 암호 힌트 초기화. 보낸 사람 IT 보안팀입니다. 헤일 씨, 암호 힌트 칸에 개인 암호를 입력할 경우 이는 디지털 보안 기준에 충족되지 않음을 IT 보안팀에서 다시 알려드립니다. 그러므로 당신의 암호는 초기화되었습니다. 또다시요. 앞으로는 적절한 힌트를 선택해 주시기 바랍니다. 적절한 힌트.
Maybe there's data around here that can help with the door?
쓸모없어. 브랜드 헤일 IT 보안팀한테 암호가 뭔지 내게 알려주지도 못하면 암호 힌트가 도대체 무슨 소용이야? 다음번에 이사회 회의 때문에 대회의실을 준비하려고 할 때 멍청한 암호를 기억 못해서 문제가 발생하면 전부 내 잘못인 줄 알아. 쓸모없고 도움도 안 되는 암호 힌트를 원하는 거라고? 알겠어. 앳베이가 설립된 월 그리고 연도 순이야. 이제 됐지? IT 보안팀 멍청이들아. 월과 연도?
This says the code is the month and year the company was founded.
According to the legacy, it was October 2023.
202310?
So the company was founded in October.
Which is the 10th month of the year.
뭐라고? 아이고.
Got it. Door should be unlocked now.
202310이 아닌가?
Maybe the data on Leviathan is in here.
Cost reduction strategy. We're talking about people's lives here. I did as you asked on Omuramba, but this is worse.
Relax, Eileen. I've spoken with risk management. They're confident that the chance of another incident is within acceptable parameters. We're moving ahead with Leviathan.
You know, Dad, shortcuts have a way of catching up with you. Within acceptable parameters or not.
Well, one day in the distant future when you're in charge, you can run things how you want. But until then, how about you let me worry about that?
Guess Eileen and her father didn't always get along. But it seems like covering up Omuramba wasn't her idea.
Doesn't matter. She still had a part in it.
Well, let's keep going. Our office must be higher up.
와, 이런 게 아직도 작동해.
Dead end. There's a ladder in that shaft, but it's blocked.
I might be able to pull the rubble out from the other shaft.
여기 갑자기 근데 이게 있네요? 훨씬 높아서 그런가? 이 다음에 뭐 한 30분 가야 되나요? 갑자기 저장하는 곳이 나와. 가죠.
Let's see where this leads.
You go on ahead. I'll look for a way up that has a lesser chance of falling to my death.
Okay.
떨어지는 건 아니겠지 진짜로? 이 아래 뭔가가 있어서 일로 가야 되는 게 맞는 거야? 위로 올라가야 되는 거 아니에요? 이건가? 좋아.
Hey, Alva?
Yes?
There's something I don't get. You said Eileen was the one who built Leviathan, not her father, so what happened?
I'm not sure. The legacy doesn't say. Either that knowledge is lost or forbidden. Or maybe we were wrong about that too.
너무 어두워. 이렇게 와서 저쪽으로 점프 뛰어야 되는 거 아니에요?
Are you doing
됐어.
okay, Aloy?
Yeah, it's just a long way up.
느낌이 안 좋은 걸. 점프. 오. 뭐야? 여긴가? 오! 뭐야? 뒤에 공간이 있던 거야? 오 놀래라. 여기 떨어지면 안 돼요. 안 돼요. 자, 제가 여기까지 왔죠? 그러면은 여기에서 어떻게 가야 되는 게 맞아. 뭐 이런 식으로 가라는 거야? 뭔가 이상한데?
Now, how to get up higher?
또 모닥불이 있어?
How about you, Alva? Any luck finding a way up?
Not yet.
Whew. Glad that's done with.
휴.
Okay, I'm back at the shafts. If I blow up that fire gleam, the elevator might fall and open up a path for Alva. Hey, Alva? Step away from the shaft.
Okay, but, why?
알게
You'll
될
see in
거예요.
a second.
Whoa! Oh, I can reach the ladder now. Be right up, Aloy.
Looks like
가자.
there's another floor above. Might be Eileen's office.
Okay, I'll meet you up there.
왔어요.
Right, Alva. Another locked door. Need to figure out the passcode.
These artifacts, I think these were Eileen's. It's every diviner's dream to discover even one of the ancestors' artifacts.
And maybe they'll help with the door.
Oh, that must be the Larson McCory Award. The legacy says Eileen won it when she was 40 for her work on Leviathan.
Interesting. How old was Eileen when she won this award?
40.
40. 이거는
This looks like some kind of prototype.
For water purification. Must be the H2 flow.
The what?
H2 flow. Their early inventions had strange names.
H2 flow 40.
It's art, I think.
Could it be? Yes, I think this was commissioned in honor of the company's 25th anniversary. That must be the Dragonfly 6. Ape used it in most of their construction projects. The Dragonfly 6 was their most successful model.
Huh. What did you say this was for again?
The company's 25th anniversary. Looks like it used to be
Could
on
look
the
around
last
my
pedestal.
focus. All the numbers you mentioned. I wonder if they make up the passcode.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
어떻게 조합을 하라는 거야? 40. 25주년. 그다음에 마이너스 6이라 그러지 않았어요? 6? 또 뭐가 하나 있었나? 아, 이게 마지막 받침대에 있었다고?
You said this was commissioned
알았어,
for
알았어.
something?
The company's 25th anniversary. Looks
마지막
like it
받침대
used to
위에
be on the
25가
last
있었다
pedestal.
그랬지? 아, 이런 거를 알아채는 게 참 느려요. 40. 그다음 2. 그다음 25가 아니고 6. 드래곤플라이 6. 그다음에 25.
That did it!
됐다.
You can almost see the whole city from up here.
Corner office. Impressive view. It must have been Eileen's.
Let's see if the data on Leviathan is here.
뭔가가 있죠. 와. 다 부서졌는데 이 콘솔은 왜 이렇게 멀쩡한 건지. 홀로 프로젝터.
Well, it's official. Eileen Sasaki, CEO, chair, and worst daughter in the world. Security had to escort Dad to his vert. Guess we'll be speaking through lawyers from now on. Looking down at the world from here. It's hard to see the details. People become risk factors, statistics, far too easily. Omuramba was supposed to provide clean water, improve lives. It was easier to pretend there wasn't a problem. Easier to believe the lie was truth. But I don't want to pretend anymore. I will build Leviathan right. No more shortcuts. No more lying just to save face. It won't undo our sins. My sins. But maybe we can still do some good.
She overthrew her father, took over the company, so that Leviathan wouldn't end up killing people.
It sounded like she regretted covering up Omuramba's failure.
She wasn't perfect. Not a paragon, as the Quan believe, but not a monster either. She tried to make up for her mistakes.
And now you know the truth.
As for the data, Leviathan... yes, it's here. Downloading a copy now.
Is something wrong?
I think I'll stay here a while longer. There's a lot more data that I want to look through.
Are you sure you'll be okay on your own?
Down is always easier than up. Let's speak again when we're back at base.
Okay. I'll see you there. Well, after climbing all the way up, why not glide down?
Wait, you're going to what?
Just thinking about it.
그런 것도 괜찮죠. 그런 것도 굉장히 괜찮습니다. 방향만 잘 설정한다면. 여기 퀘스트가 왜 있어? 이거 누구야? 와, 뭐야? 저 퀘스트 왜 있어요? 누구죠? 저기에 있는 거는 방금 걔밖에 없지 않나? 아, 제 퀘스트인지 한번 보고 왔어야 되는데 저 녀석이 맞는지. 왔습니다. 내가 왔습니다. 얘가 발굴 현장이구나. 자, 여기에서 뭐죠 이건 또? 작업대가 있네? 여기 왜 작업대가, 누가 발굴 작업을 여기서 또 하나? 자, 의상 강화 보면은 선윙 방어막 캐스터 있으면은 됩니다. 선윙 방어막 캐스터, 베히모스 포스로도 저것도 하나만 있으면 돼. 은신중 파쇄 효과, 저런 것도 괜찮고. 무기는 타이드리퍼. 타이드리퍼 딱 한 번 본 것 같은데? 한 번이 아니가 뭐 자주 보진 못했어요. 이거 업그레이드 된다. 쉘워커 전기총 있어요. 할까 말까? 나중에 뭔가 나오지 않을까요? 전설 무기보다 더 멋있는 그런 게 뭔가 나오지 않을까? 일단 저장 하지 말고 여기로 빠른 이동을 하죠. 여기에서 이제 퀘스트 하나씩 합시다. 여기 하나 있고, 그 다음에 요 마을에 하나 있고, 나머지는 여기 다 있는 것 같죠? 이쪽에 하나 있고요. 그리고 내가 날라온 곳에 하나가 있었는데, 내가 어디서 날라왔더라? 내가 분명 탑에서 날라왔거든요? 여기 아니었나요? 여기에 모닥불이 몇 개 있었던 걸로 내가 기억하는데 어쨌든 일로 갑시다.